Hey, brother, all I'm saying is this, man. I live in Los Angeles. The one brother, he mad at me because I made jokes about it. Shannon Sharpe.
Yes,
he's mad at me because I make jokes about the guy he was at the game with. Like, there was a brother he goes to the Lakers game with this guy. He goes other places with this guy. And I make jokes about it. And I saw that it made him mad about the backdooria life. I call it backdooria, like backdooria, that's what we call it.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Nobody's calling you gay. Nobody's calling you homosexual.
Let's just cut the book. When Shannon got out that motherfucking SUV in them stretch pants, he got, go get some wine. Hey, stop. We saw all we need to see.
I believe right now Shannon should I gave this advice to Puffy, he didn't take it. Shannon should just step out with his boyfriend and let people know I'm bisexual, but this is who I'm with. And every now and then I experience my wild side.
You think he's a zest monster?
I definitely think he's bisexual. I got to work.
What?
That's a fact.
Sex tape. Gay sex tape?
You want to work?
Sure.
Oh,
Send me the gay sex tape.
No. This right here.
Oh.
Ain't no getting out of this. But this shit is diabolical.
Dang.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
If your name is Shannon Sharpe in 2025, man, you have to feel like the most conflicted person in the world. And if I was Shannon Sharpe, I would literally be asking, who can I trust? Who's in my corner? Who got my back? Because it seems like they coming out with all sorts of stuff in different angles and different versions of what they consider as evidence to really try to bury this dude. And I'm not trying to make him sound like a victim one way or the other, because again, if he's guilty of something, he needs to be accountable. But my point is, it's like, when it rains, it pours, bro. Because Shannon went from here, where, he's everybody loves him, to here, where people got all these bad things to say about him. And of course, you have people in the middle where they feel indifferent. It really doesn't make a difference to them one way or the other, right? They don't hate him, they don't love him. But I mean, he's a public figure, and he's one of the biggest podcasters in the world, bro. And to see what's happening to him, it's like, just like Cat Williams told him, bro, like, bro, you can go in 2 weekends, you can be down. It seemed like it took Shannon much less than just 2 weekends. It took him in like 3-4 days. He was out of there.
I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan.
They gonna think I'm old, cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that.
You see Jonathan Majors, what he went through, Marvel dropped him as soon as the conviction came out, and you were telling the
Hey, you saw that black woman come get his charge cut in half? Thank you, Megan Good. God bless you, coming to save that slave. If he'd had to be there by himself, he was getting all four. Guilty. She came in there, was just so beautiful, they had to knock half of it off. Bless his heart.
What do you think about this cancel culture? You see the situation with Jonathan Majors. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know if maybe he can bounce back in a couple of years, but man, he was hot. He was hot, he was cooking. I mean, you see him in Creed, he's in the Marvel movies, and then just like that.
Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory, but I thought Cat Williams said any time they make you into that position, part of that contract is you do understand whenever we want to take you down, we can, right?
And after these most recent allegations, or I use the word allegations loosely, but they claim to have video evidence of some other claims that they're now making about Shannon Sharpe that we'll get to later. But I want to remind everybody about the roller coaster couple of years that Shannon Sharpe has had, because this is why I believe he got to feel conflicted. It's like he's had some of the highest of the highs and some of the lowest of the lows, bro. Because remember, it was in June of 2023 when Shannon co-hosted his last episode with Skip Bayless on Undisputed. And of course, well before that point, it was well documented on the show that there was a lot of tension. A lot of people was complaining and felt like Skip Bayless had been pretty much disrespecting Shannon and just being rude to Shannon in many different ways on the show. And so he would eventually leave Undisputed in June. But then by August, it was announced that Shannon Sharpe will be joining ESPN. And just a week later, he actually was on his first show with Stephen A. Smith. So just like that, great turnaround. Everybody supported it. Everybody loved it. He helped take ESPN even to another level. Even Stephen A. Smith has admitted that himself. And then just a few months later, on January 3rd of last year, 2024, as we all know, as the whole world knows at this point, Shannon Sharpe dropped only the largest and most popular viral interview in YouTube history when he interviewed Cat Williams, where I think it shot off to like 50 million views within the first, few days or something crazy like that. And it's currently sitting at like 89 million views. Right, so this obviously took his podcast to a whole nother level. I mean, he won a lot of awards, from Webby Award, the Podcast Award, the BET Hip Hop Awards, and even a couple of more. And a huge part of why he won all those awards was because of this interview with Cat Williams. And then the following month, on February 16th, he signed a contract extension with ESPN, which pretty much solidified his position on ESPN, where he would be a reoccurring guest on Mondays and Tuesdays every single week. But then just like that, like I said, man, it was a roller coaster. Just the following month, there was this alleged sex tape that started circulating across the internet that's supposed to be Shannon Sharpe having intercourse. A lot of people had mixed feelings about this because some people thought it was extremely unprofessional, it was a bad look on behalf of Shannon Sharpe, even if it was a mistake and it got leaked. Some people thought it was funny. A lot of people actually just thought it was funny, and they chalked it up to just it being a mistake. It shouldn't affect him one way or the other, especially not his bottom line. And then you had a smaller group of people who's actually alleging that they believe Shannon Sharpe actually released this on purpose to try to dispel a lot of the rumors about him, that being that he's an undercover homosexual, that he's bisexual, because he's never seen out with women, right? Even though he has a daughter, nobody can ever see him out with women. He's not married, etc., etc. And the reason why this is important is because one of the people that said this about him, a really large comedian, Corey Holcomb, as a lot of us know, was saying this on his show 5150, but then he took it to another level when just a few months later, in October of last year, he decided to go into the Cam Newton's podcast and had these crazy things to say about not only Will Smith, stating that it's commonly known knowledge in Hollywood that Will Smith likes men. He's known this for years. It's not alleged. It's not a secret. Everybody knows it. And while a lot of people wasn't as shocked to hear about that one, they were a little bit more shocked to hear about the Shannon Sharpe one, because he also mentioned Shannon Sharpe on the Cam Newton show, stating that Shannon Sharpe is upset with him because he's been saying for some time that he actually believes that Shannon Sharpe is an undercover homosexual man. Well, here we are. Obviously things went quiet for some time. And then on April 20th, as we all know, just a week or so ago, this woman came out and claimed that Shannon Sharpe raped her and assaulted her and was suing him for $50 million. And then it was just 4 days later, on April 24th, when Shannon Sharpe would announce that he would be stepping away from ESPN, at least for the time being, with the plan to return this summer, which a lot of people allege that that's not going to happen. This is just what they have him publicly saying. But that's yet to be seen. None of us actually know what's going to happen. And now we got some more stuff, because Wack100 and this woman named Tasha K. A lot of y'all going to know who Tasha K is. Y'all going to have mixed feelings about her, I'm sure. But Wack100 went on to the No Jumper podcast and says that he has reason to believe that Shannon Sharpe is a bisexual man, and he has video proof that that's the case, or at least that's the way he framed it. But then he went on to play this audio that shows Shannon Sharpe slipping up and saying something on his show that has many people, including Tasha K, believing that this was a Freudian slip from Shannon Sharpe admitting who and what he's actually attracted to. Now, before we actually go over to the video and we check it out, I ask, if you're new to the show, please know we're thirsty to grow and to drink some of this water. You can help me out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. But don't worry, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to hit that like button for me. Just hit that like button for me. Thank you. Also, please consider becoming a member of my Patreon. It is uncensored videos over there. For those of you who are already members of the Patreon, please be on the lookout later this week. I have a really big groundbreaking video that I'm working on right now about Jeffrey Epstein and probably his biggest witness, an accuser, all of a sudden being found deceased at her home, where they're saying that she unalived herself. So please be on the lookout for that one.
You know that this is easy ammunition for anybody who looks at the game and says, look what they did to R. Kelly, look what they did to Jay-Z,
Right.
or what they attempted to do to Jay-Z. I mean, the powers that be that want to basically strike down powerful black men. Shannon Sharpe easily fits into the mold that a lot of people
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real. This is I've been like really studying that. The more power you get, the more position you get, the more business you do, the simpler you have to be.
Yeah. A lot of truth to that. That's
You
why
have
all
to-
those
it
Diddy's.
goes up, you have to dumb yourself
And
down.
that's why the Diddy party thing, like he gets so successful that his sex parties just keep getting crazier and crazier.
That's
If he had the right mentality, is like you get way more low key as you become a billionaire.
I believe right now Shannon should just, I gave this advice to Puffy, he didn't take it. Shannon should just step out with his boyfriend and let people know I'm bisexual, but this is who I'm with. And every now and then I experience my wild side.
You think he's a zest monster?
I definitely think he's bisexual.
Why do you think that? Just because his pants fit weird or whatever? That one meme?
His mannerisms, and I think he's bisexual. I mean, and
But basing that on anything besides
I'm gonna say
just
I thought I would never say.
He looks weird sometimes.
I'm gonna say something I thought I would never say.
Sure.
But I gotta keep it real. I listened to Tasha K the other day. Her take on Shannon.
She had a good one.
And she broke down how he takes, first it was the stylist to the basketball games. Now he's taking the cameraman without a camera places. They both got their little boy bags going on. And he made a copy. He's never out with women like that. It's always, he's taking, it ain't like he's taking his team. It's like these people, and they seem a little zesty. And he slipped. You got the content, right? Because I got the content.
What content? We got the work?
I got the work.
What?
That's a fact.
Sex tape. Gay sex tape?
You want the work?
Sure.
Oh,
Send me the gay sex tape.
No. This right here.
Oh.
Ain't no getting out of this. And this is right here. Tasha K, this was good content. I think I kind of became first time I watched her content like this, but this shit is diabolical. This is diabolical, bro.
Okay.
You may forget some things, but you don't slip up and say things like this.
When Unc say he want to date younger men, they kill me. What they say, what the women, when I say I want to date younger women, what I said? Oh, when I want to date.
See, this how this works, bro. When I go to talking about soul food,
That was a front slip right there?
Look, what's good when I go to talking about soul food, right? Because I don't eat like pig feet, chitlins, and hog maws.
You said you don't eat meat in general.
No, I don't. But even when I was like, I don't eat those things when it comes to the soul food, right? I'm never gonna be like, yo, what's bomb? Chitlins. I'm never gonna say, because my mind doesn't register that.
You know
doesn't
what's
read
bomb?
that. Listen, you're weird.
I'm just not going to say that by accident, though. You're right. Yeah.
You're weird.
Well, I was
right?
saying it for.
But he said,
there, yeah.
he said they're talking about Tracy Ellis who dates younger men. He said, but when I'm talking about himself, want to date younger men, for your mind to register and say you want to date younger men, that's part of your mental, bro. You're in that lane. I agree with her. I gotta agree with her, bro. I gotta agree with her. We ran the content on the 100 side, and I'm like, yo, you doing something. I believe he's bi. I don't think he's all the way. I believe he's bi.
Well, given how these things normally go.
I think for every 7 women he's with, he got 3 dudes.
I saw a lot of people's in the comment section of Tasha K's video. They were saying that she was just gossiping and she was spreading false information. Black on black gossip needs to stop, this, that, and the third. And she's slandering people, and that's why she's already got sued by Cardi B and other people, because she's sharing false information. But the clip that she shared on her channel, her shorts clip, actually doesn't show the beginning of it. Shannon Sharpe actually does slip up and say young men.
When Unc say he want to date younger men, they kill me. What they say, what the women, what?
Do I personally believe that this is a sign that he is actually into young boys or young men? No, I don't. I think Wack makes a semi-fair point. I think it's a little bit unfair though to say I wouldn't slip up and say anything that doesn't apply to me in my life. It's like, no, it's about what you're thinking about saying next. As far as if you're thinking to say the word men or man, right, in your brain, we know how the brain works. So if in your mind, if you're thinking about saying something like men get accused of liking young men, I mean liking young women all the time, you have the word men in your brain already, right? I don't think slipping up and saying something like that is necessarily a sign that you are into young men. I personally, I don't buy into it. So that's my personal take. And as I've said many times on this channel, I don't care, because you're gonna have people in the comment section to say it. I don't care what people do in the bedroom. I don't care what people's sexual orientation is. Again, I am a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I do believe that there are several things in this world that is a sin, and I think homosexuality is 100% one of them. But if you're talking about me from one human to the next, no, I don't think any less of anybody. I would be friends with somebody who's homosexual. That doesn't make a difference to me as far as how I see and how I love and care about people one bit. But the ultimate thing I want to say is it's just crazy that when one thing comes out about you, all of a sudden it just seems like it's a smear campaign, and they got all this stuff that comes out, and when it rains, it pours, man. And it just is what it is at this point. And I think it's just unavoidable, right? Especially when you're a public figure, you post as many videos as Shannon Sharpe does, because he hasn't stopped posting videos. He's doing interviews. He just recently dropped some interview clips with Terrence Crawford, the boxer. And then he's obviously on Nightcap, his other platform, where he's covering sports daily, dropping several videos. He hasn't stopped, even though there's been reports where he's lost a lot of sponsors. But we'll keep our eye on this situation, just see how things play out. Y'all hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts, man. I'd love to know what you think. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. That's all for this one, man. Until next time. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.